First and foremost, congratulations, Roberto. You've just yawned, and your body language really tells a story. What did you think when the VAR were making their decision? Go on, let go a bit, be honest with us. No, obviously I would have been very disappointed. Even though there was still a bit of time to go, we would have been able to come back into the match, but I would have been disappointed because we could have broken the deadlock in the first half. We dominated proceedings. We struggled a bit more in the second half because, as I said, Austria are a very tough nut to crack. They make their opposition make life very difficult for the opposition, so I would have been very disappointed had that goal counted. Francesco Repice, Radio Rai. Good evening, Roberto. First and foremost, that was a bit of a battle, but congratulations, we came through it in the end. You reshuffled the entire midfield line at one stage because it seemed like two of those central midfielders had nothing left in the tank, and so you were right to make that decision in the end. Yes, they were tired. Marco Verratti was tired. They were really flagging. They had run a great deal, and they were wonderful in the first half to put them under pressure and to keep the ball. So it was only natural that Marco Verratti, after so long out, would feel the effects of this game. The same went for Nicolo Barella. So we needed some fresh energy in there, and the guys that came on were brilliant. And they allowed us to change the game. So everyone did a very good job, but we said that it would be a match that we'd have to struggle through to get the win. Jerry Cox.
Jerry, prego.
Away you go, Jerry.
Non sentiamo.
Jerry, we can't hear you, I'm afraid.
Aspettiamo, proviamo a recuperare. Passiamo a Paolo Tomaselli.
We'll try and get you back a bit later on. Paolo Tomaselli, Corriere della Sera.
Buonasera, Roberto.
Good evening, Roberto. You'd already said that this might have been the toughest game for Italy. Do you think that winning this the hard way, winning ugly, and with some of these issues might actually allow us to be even more optimistic as opposed to pessimistic going forward because of the manner in which we won? We knew that there would be some potential banana skins in this match, and we thought it might even have been tougher than the quarter-final because, of course, Austria aren't as good as the teams that we'll face in the next round, but they really do make life tough for you. We watched a lot of their matches, and they do cause problems for the opposition. We knew that had we scored in the first half, it would have been a different game. We didn't manage to, and so we had to dig deep. But the players really wanted to win at all costs, and with the substitutions we did a good job because they came on fresh legs and we were able to sort things out. But we had to dig deep, and in the first half of extra time it was tricky because they put a lot of big units on and just launched the ball long on the flick-ons. Jerry, can you try again? Jerry, I think we've got you back. Can you try again? Sorry, Jerry, still can't hear you. We'll move on to Paolo Brusorio, La Stampa. Roberto, you've always spoken about the strength of team spirit. Could you start the question again? Hi, Roberto. Congratulations and good evening. You've always spoken about the team spirit in the group, and the players off the bench really changed the game tonight. How proud of you are of having forged this team spirit? They were brilliant. And that can be a huge advantage for us. The fact that we have players that can step in off the bench and change the game because they're fresh, they're good players, and they want to get the 3 points, or they want to get the victory. So it was an excellent performance, and that goes for everyone because the guys that featured for the first 80 minutes gave absolutely everything, and we only lacked a goal. and that goal came after during extra time. That's Florian Haselmeier.
Roberto Mancini, congratulations. How do you rate Austria's performance in this game? Was it maybe the strongest opponent you played so far in this tournament?
Beh, io ho paragonato l'Austria prima di giocare alla Svizzera perché sono abbastanza simili, giocano.
I compared Austria to Switzerland before the game because they have a lot of excellent players and they're very aggressive, but Austria, perhaps even more than Switzerland, really cause you a lot of problems because they don't allow you to play football, and so they did cause us a lot of issues, above all in the second half, not so much in the opening 45 minutes because apart from the odd counter-attack, but I think we could have scored in the opening 45 minutes based on the chances we created, but they are a very tough team to play against, but hats off to their head coach for having put together a team like that because they're not easy to play against. Thank you, Florian. Monica. Who would you rather avoid, Cristiano Ronaldo or Romelu Lukaku? When you get into the quarter-finals, I don't think it's that easy. Ideally, we'd like to avoid both, but that's not possible. Okay, thank you. Thanks, Monica. Maurizio Pizzoferrato, Aria. I've cut him off, I think. Last two questions. Marco Conterio, and we'll get Pizzoferrato back in due course. Are you with us, Maurizio? Is it my turn? Yeah, where you go, Maurizio. Congratulations, Roberto. The team as a whole won the game because the match was won both by the starters and those that came off the bench. Can you give us a couple of thoughts on Matteo Pessina? He only came into the squad due to an injury to a teammate, and yet he's proving to be a match winner. Could you give us a couple of thoughts on Pessina, please? Matteo Pessina is not a player that I've necessarily unearthed. He's been doing brilliantly for Atalanta. He's a wonderful guy. He's a great athlete, a terrific footballer. And he is certainly proving that he is a top player. And I think he will have a great future with Italy because I think he's only going to get better going forward. I think the match was won because the players really wanted to win the game, and despite the fact that they were tired midway through the second half towards the end of the game, they did have a new lease of life, and when we scored that goal it did give us renewed energy stores. It did cause a few problems when we conceded the goal, however. Marco Conterio, then we have the final question. Italy had always played well up until tonight. Bonucci had given us a headline, big, bad and ugly. Do you think that might go for tonight's performance? It depends what you mean by winning ugly. I think it was a tough match. I think there were times when the team had to battle tooth and nail. And this was a match of that type. And I did say before the game that it might have even been a tougher match than what we'll face in the quarter-final because they're a very tough opposition side. They really run a great deal. But I think we had 26 shots on goal. It's not like we had two. Perhaps we weren't quite accurate enough, but I think when we had to battle, the players were absolutely extraordinary. One last question, Fabrizio Patania. Good evening, Roberto. You've just said now, and you said yesterday, that the first game in the knockout round might actually be harder than the second. Did you say that from a tactical perspective or from a psychological perspective? Because maybe we might be able to play more football against Belgium or Portugal. Of course, they have better individual players, but it'll be a different kettle of fish. No, I said so because it was our first knockout match. So from a mental perspective, you already approach things in a different way. And despite the fact that Austria were considered simple opponents by a lot of people, Austria don't lose easily, and they cause problems for the opponents because they don't allow you to play football. They press you, they defend well. Had we scored in the first half, of course, it would have been a whole different game, but we didn't manage to. We got those final balls a bit wrong, and they defended well. But that was the reason why. Thank you. Thank you, Fabrizio. Thank you very much, everyone. We'll be back to Coverciano overnight. We'll speak to you tomorrow.